They claim to be about renters' rights, and now the San Francisco Bay Area Renters Federation has launched a website called Sue the Suburbs, and they have their eyes on the East Bay city of Lafayette. The issue, having affordable housing option for renters out there. Today in the 4x4, we are taking 4 minutes at 4 o'clock to take a deeper look at the housing crisis in the Bay Area and this possible lawsuit against the city of Lafayette. We are joined now by Brian Hanlon, the member of the group SF Bay Area Renters Federation, and also Lafayette Mayor Brant Anderson. Thank you both for being here. Let's start with you, Brian. So your group, as I understand it, is about providing a voice for renters. And with what's happening in Lafayette, apparently they supported replacing, it was supposed to be 315 apartments, but now it's going to be 44 single-family homes at a cost of approximately $1.2 million. Why the lawsuit, and what do you think will come from this lawsuit?
Sure. Well, the San Francisco Bay Area is in the midst of a housing affordability crisis. And this crisis, while especially acute now due to the tech-led employment growth, has been decades in the making. Cities across California, including Lafayette, have consistently refused to build their fair share of housing. So what our goal is to do is to hold cities accountable to their state-mandated housing targets in order to make the Bay Area affordable again.
Mayor, what do you say to the lawsuit and that argument when you're talking about wanting to have renters' rights and renters' protections and have affordable housing? What do you say to this lawsuit and what's your argument?
Well, first of all, I appreciate the issue, housing availability. I have two kids in their 20s. You know, one just took on a new roommate to help pay the rent. And the other one's at home, and we'll be helping him pay the rent if he moves out. So it's an issue. I understand that. But I think the homework needs to be done first before the lawsuit happens.
And by homework?
The homework means, just assuming that Lafayette's not doing its fair share. It's just not the case. The state requires us to, they give us an allocation. These are the number of units that you need to allow for over the next 8 years. And you have to provide the sites for those places, make sure that the zoning is such that they can be built on for housing. And we've done that. And it's been fairly successful. We've gone beyond what's actually required by making housing by right in the downtown, which is where we allocate our multifamily housing. And over the past few years, we've opened a 46-unit senior housing project, all affordable. We've opened a 72-unit assisted living project right downtown. We're currently constructing 69 units right next to BART, right where it ought to be, close to jobs and close to shopping and close to medical care.
So let me jump in. So Brian, why don't you feel like that's enough?
Sure.
That sounds significant over the past few years.
Well, because they haven't been meeting their targets. So for the last housing assessment cycle, between 2007 and 2013, the city of Lafayette only permitted 10% of their allotment for low-income housing and for moderate-income housing. If you read their current housing element, they refer to this as moderately successful. That to me sounds like failure. While I do applaud the effort at allowing by right zoning in the downtown area, they are still hamstrung by very restrictive zoning rules that only permit up to 2 or 3 stories of height. So they're not allowing the necessary density downtown that they claim to be allowing.
Mayor, has there been any talk about this, about changing zoning requirements? So what's the city council doing?
We've been through our downtown specific plan, which when this group came to our city council meeting, they admit they had not even looked at. But we have a downtown specific plan, and there were those who wanted to lower the height. We in fact kept the height where it was. It has been for a long time. We don't want high rises in Lafayette. It's just not the type of place we are. But we have found ways of allowing the units to be built. In addition to what I just mentioned, we have a city-owned lot that we bought for parking, which we've actually optioned to a developer for 22 working force affordable units. We're doing what we can. We can't build the housing. The targets are, we have to allow for what's possible. But someone else has to build the housing. It's not what we do.
Okay,
Can I just address this particular site? As I say, we've for years, many years, said multifamily housing goes downtown. The site we're talking about is a mile and a half from BART. Half the units in the city, including the single-family units, are closer to downtown than this spot. It's right next to the most congested intersection in town.
Brian, is that a fair argument? And I want to also go back to the lawsuit. Is it realistic? Is it more to just make headlines?
No, absolutely not. The lawsuit is very realistic, and the city of Lafayette knows this. This whole deal that they tried to strike with the developer in order to buy half the land at the site and build these 44 homes is precisely because they were afraid of a Housing Accountability Act lawsuit. If you go to the city of Lafayette's own website, in discussing meeting minutes back in 2013, the city manager specifically refers to a threat of a lawsuit and why they have to move forward with a plan. The problem is, what Lafayette didn't account for, is that anyone who could afford to live in these denied units can bring suit. It's not just the developer. So they thought they had a deal with the developer, but now we came in.
Is this still a threat at this point, or has a lawsuit been filed yet, or where are you at in that process?
Okay. So the city of Lafayette is...
And the cost. It costs money to do this.
Absolutely. Litigation is expensive, and we're going to raise significant amounts of money in order to pursue
plaintiffs.
This. Yes, and we've already started working on getting plaintiffs. So we will not be able to file the suit until after the city council meeting on Monday.
Brian, I'm almost out of time. Let me give the mayor the final word here, since we started with you. Can this be resolved without a lawsuit? Is there some kind of working situation that you guys could come up with?
It has been resolved without a lawsuit. The original threat of a lawsuit was if we had denied the 300 units, then indeed a lawsuit could have been filed under the Housing Accountability Act. Housing Accountability Act, if you read the act, it requires a denial before you
But you didn't deny it. The contractor backed out.
He decided to do a much more appropriate project on the site, and that's the one we have approved. We have not denied anything. We were actually processing a 300-unit project until he pulled that back.
Okay, I have to jump in. I'm sorry, guys. We're out of time. Lafayette Mayor Brian Anderson and Brian Hanlon with the SF Bay Area Renters Federation. Good discussion. Thank you both for coming on.
Thank you for having us.
Okay, Mike, over to you.
All right, thank you, Kiba. At least 107 people were killed and 200